Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fit Foodie Film Takes with your host, your girl, Film Foodie, Fit Foodie, and Henrietta. Say hi, Henrietta. Today, I'll be talking about how the Disney movie Soul is the animated version of Get Out. That's my thesis, and that's my intro. Let's get into it. If you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering, Fit Foodie, what are you talking about? Disney movie Soul is a quirky, funny, life-changing, good for Black people film. I beg to differ. If you take off the Disney aspect of everything, that movie is it is a haunting, it is a horror movie, just like Get Out. And so I'm here today to give you the facts, because facts are facts. Isn't that right, Henrietta? In a Google overview, the movie Get Out, let me just summarize it for you for those who have or have not seen it. Jordan Peele's Get Out is a psychological horror film that critiques liberal racism, white fetishization of Black bodies, and modern day slavery. The plot follows Chris, a Black man visiting his white girlfriend's family, who uncovers a sinister plot where wealthy white people steal bodies and consciousness of Black individuals. So again, if you haven't seen the movie, go and watch that before you watch this video. It's been out for a while, but go and watch it, or at least watch a synopsis of it. And one of the biggest concepts of Get Out is the sunken place, basically being paralyzed mentally, always in the back of your physical body, while whatever white person that's transported inside of there gets to live and be in control of the rest of your body and mind. Low-key, your spirit, you're still in there, but you can't do anything about it. You're not in control anymore, and that is scary. Now, the Google overview for Soul. Let's go and see if it's similar at all. Soul is a Pixar animated film about Joe Gardner, a middle school band teacher who lands his dream jazz gig, but gets into a near-death accident before his first show. His soul tries to escape the afterlife, teaming up with 22, a cynical, unborn soul, to find the true meaning of life and rediscover the joy in everyday moments. Now, they don't sound the same, do they? That's because it's supposed to be inspirational and fun and learning about life. And mind you, in any other context, I feel like this movie could have talked about finding your spark, not being obsessive, living life truly every day that you're here, and to have a new perspective. But how they did it, scary. Just to start us off, I feel like overall, Disney movies Soul wanted to depict Black people and Black stories and relate to the Black people. But to me, it just felt like a cosplay with a whole bunch of white people in the background. The person who voices number 22 is Tina Fey. And if you know anything about Tina Fey, she has come into a lot of scrutiny over racism, racist remarks, playing into racism, especially with her being a white woman. You can always look up and deep dive into that. But that's basically where her comedy and humor comes from. So that's an interesting choice to have her in a movie like Soul, where it's about Black people and Black culture. You see where I'm getting at? And then also with Jamie Foxx, we in the Black community, we love Jamie Foxx. He is an outstanding actor, performer, overall generational talent. However, he does in his history have a preference for white women. So it's interesting how Jamie Foxx is playing Joe Gardner, a Black man who prefers to be in the company of white women, playing this character as well. So just something to think about. I want to say in the beginning, like the first 20 minutes of the film, I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting into it. Disney might have something here, but then they lost me. When they went up to their version of heaven, they were talking about Gandhi and Mother Teresa and all these other known public figures. And I found that to be interesting because Gandhi is literally a pedophile as well as a racist. And then also Mother Teresa was the literal devil incarnate on earth, pretending to be holier than thou as a white woman. And I feel like They should have talked about people like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, those who have paved the way in the Black community to kind of stay on the same storyline. I feel like if they wanted to do this with white people, they could have taken it where they wanted it to go. But this is supposed to be a Black film, right? Depicting Black people, soul, what Black people have. Anyway, so I just thought those were very interesting, creative choices. Okay, get into the nitty gritty of how this all connects with Get Out. Get Out is a possession film. You have these white people who think they're so much better in every way except for physically, okay, and that is just racism, okay? And all that they need to do is inhabit a Black body so they can use their smarts and their big brains and their thoughts and their feelings and basically live life as a Black person with all this knowledge and all this know-how. Which, if you think about it, honestly, if a white person actually got into a Black person's body, especially with how racism is, especially in today's time, I think they would hate it. They wouldn't know what to do inside of our, like, it would be cool at first. They think they could, I don't know, run fast, uh I don't know, jump over things, feel big, bold, feel cool, be a part like in the culture. But if a cop pulls you over, what are you gonna say? I'm white? That's just a little thought that I had, but interesting. But that's the same thing that we see in the movie Soul. After Joe almost dies, he goes up, he meets Tina Fey's character, and when they come back to Earth, instead of Joe going back into his body, Tina Fey possesses his body while Joe possesses a cat. Now, my biggest gripe with Disney movies is the fact that they cannot keep Black people in their Black bodies. That's the reason why I haven't watched Princess and the Frog. I haven't. And it's because I have heard and people have told me that Tiana is a frog for most of the film. Why? Why is Joe not even in his body? He's either a blue blob or a cat for most of the movie. Why? I don't like that. But anyway, back to the point, a possession film. So she's going on and living her life in his body. And the thing is, the catch is, she didn't even want to be born. She was throwing a fit like white women tend to do. I'm going to put a disclaimer, not all white women, but you know what I mean. I'm talking in generalities here. Because she didn't want to do that. And honestly, her character is so annoying. They talk about Joe and how he's isolated and how he's focused on one thing and he doesn't live and no one really likes him. That's fine. You can definitely do something with the plot related to that, but saying that Tina Fey's character made Joe's life so much better when she inhabited his body, that's problematic to me. So you have Joe as a cat watching this white woman take over his body and do all these things. Wouldn't that be terrifying? It's just like the sunken place. Joe is in a place where he is around his body but cannot control it, is not in full facility of it, and has to negotiate with a white woman who is inhabiting his body, unrightfully so. Like, to me, that's horrifying. If I was in uh, a pet's body and someone else inhabited my body and they could do whatever they want with it, I don't like that. And I don't think anyone else would like that either. And mind you, the premise of all of this is she's learning that life is not too bad, that life is good, that you can experience the different things like wind under your coat and different types of food and different things that we as regular people can take for granted. However, it's about the execution that's problematic, especially like when they went into the barbershop. Now, for those who are Black, you understand the sanctity of the barbershop. It is a male space for Black men to go and do Black men things, to have conversation, to have community. It's the same thing with the beauty shop for Black women. That's a sacred space for us. And we have to invite other people to come into that space if we feel like you bring a certain energy that we like. It has to be a community type of thing. And mind you, we see in the beginning that Joe is not treated the best or liked by the people in his barbershop. But when Tina Fey rolls up in Joe's body, guess what? Everyone thinks he's cool. Everyone wants to with him now. And one, I feel like that's sneaky because it's like white people always want to have a glance into what black people are doing. So it has, to me, it has a little bit of mischievousness around it. And two, how is it that a white person can relate to all these black men as a white woman character? Okay, mind you, I know she's just a blob in the movie, but a white woman character possessing a black man's body and is making everyone around her like her in this black man's body. It shows some type of intersectionality. You know, the white woman and the black man are on the same wavelength. The white woman has privilege because she's white. The black man has privilege because he's black. So they're kind of like on the same playing field in different ways. And another point in the movie Soul that really bothered me was when Joe was trying to get his body back from Tina Fey. I think a reasonable person would be like, okay, you know what? This is your body. I'm going to go and return that back to you, big dog. You know, sorry about that. Tina Fey runs away with his body. Again, a problem. Because why are you, as a white woman, not only ignoring the person who originally owns that body, but then decides that you're going to throw a tantrum and just leave with it? Feels like stealing. Okay? Do you think in Get Out, if Chris asked to have faculties of his body back, they would just agree with him? They were going to be violent with him in order for them to try to brainwash him in order for all that to happen. There's problems here about consent. And oftentimes, especially in Black history, we don't get a lot of consent. If you look at modern day gynecology, okay, and you can look that up, how a Black woman was tortured, a bunch of Black women, but one specific, she had no consent. None, because we weren't seen as what? As people. Especially when you put Black bodies in frogs, Black bodies in cats, Black bodies as blobs. It doesn't seem like you're seeing us as people. More like vessels to use to get whatever you want. And what she wanted was to finally live inside of a Black man's body. And then my biggest gripe with the Disney movie Soul was at the very end, he finally gets back into his own body. He goes and performs at the jazz club. He did finally everything he wanted to do, and he felt empty inside, which again, I feel like they could have taken that storyline to hit the meaning and the message they were trying to hit. But Joe then decided that he wanted to give up the rest of his life and just to go and die so that Tina Fey could go and live the rest of her life in his body so she could live. What?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You accomplished something that you want to do. You learned some lessons in your life and you decided that, you know what, I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and die and give my body to the person who I feel like could utilize it better. Instead of, I don't know, just finding other things to do and finding other passions that you may have and build connections with people and build and build and build. Like, I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense to me. And then when he goes and chases 22 to try to show that he's the person that she could look up to and be a mentor and blah, 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 why? Why is a Black man doing that much labor for a random blob that he had a connection with at one point in time? Black people are expected to give up our labor, literally chattel slavery, give up our culture, literally what we're seeing right now in today's time, the ridiculousness going on with that. And we're expected to just give and give and give and give, even down to the movies, the stories of things like Get Out, and then of Disney movie Soul, to give everything that we are to satisfy white people. And that's why I compare the two. I was even thinking about the TV show Behind Her Eyes. Similar kind of prospect if you haven't seen that. Okay? So that's my beef, that's my gripe. I feel like if they had black writers and black directors and made it real nigga-ish the way that they should have, this movie could have been a lot better. But down to the casting, the people they chose to cast, down to the, not really the premise, because I see what they mean, but the execution, it's scary to me and it's disappointing. I don't want Disney to do anything else animated wise with black people, because it's like they can't stand us. They can't stand us existing as animated black people, and it always has to be some type of mystical element that takes us out of who we are. And I think we could do better. I think we could tell our stories on our own accord. There's a bunch of black animators out there who are creating. And if you are a black creator, please comment all your stuff down in the video so we can spread that, so we can have more awareness of that, because that is so important. Black films are so special to me, and I want to make sure that we're represented well. And unless it is something scary, I don't want this. That it's like a here damn for black people. Here damn. Here is a black movie that's supposed to be, and nothing is inspirational about that in the context that it's in. Again, if this was a white story made for white people and it was interchangeable to white people, then I think it would have worked out better. But we need someone to be thinking in the storyboard room about how this would look, how people should receive this, and just overall do better. Any comments, suggestions on any films that you guys want me to watch, anything you want me to analyze, anything like this, a deep dive into what I think these films really are, what they cosplay to be, let me know in the comments below. Give me your suggestions. Make sure to like, comment, and follow. Make sure to eat well, rest well, move your body, drink your water, and until next time, ciao. White fetish